My name is Angie. I live in Huntington Park. I lived here since I was 3. My parents came from Mexico. We were staying in South Central, and then when they found this house in the Penny Saver, so then they came and we started living here. I always wanted to make music, so actually like the mic that I used for basically all of this 3ish shows, my mom bought it for me when I was like 10 or something because I really wanted to be in a band. I think now, like, being like in 2 bands, I kind of see like the differences like between being in an all-women band and a band that has like men in it, but then also like I guess people that don't feel the need to be as vocal as I do. I mean, as women, like, we're kind of taught to like bring each other down, to not be understanding of one another, like don't create community with the women that you're around, to put like a lot of bullshit, I don't know, to just kind of prioritize a lot of like maybe petty things or things that don't really matter, when in reality it's like, well, if we're already like creating music, like why not try and create community with it.
So my name is Kathy. I used to be in a band called Este. I used to drum for them, which was cool. So I got into punk when I was in high school. High school. Take me back. So it was either you were going to parties or you were going to shows. I went to a couple flyer parties, you know. It was alright, but it wasn't really my scene. I started going to shows and I was like, oh, what? Like, the desmadre? Oh, I like it. I met Angie at a show, and she was kind of like the one that was promoting women's collective at our old high school, Huntington Park. And I was like, oh shit, like I'm about that. I'm gonna check it out. And then I went, and it was just like a bunch of different things. Like we would always have icebreakers, and then it would go into really deep conversations, you know. And I would just be like, fuck, like that's hardcore. And I would just feel really inspired just by some of the things that we would be comfortable enough to share with each other. So I felt that our music would be able to, or music that my friends and I could create, that would be able to just say all those things, you know, that we're too shy or we're not comfortable enough to share with anyone. Because yeah, like I think that's how a lot of music is, you know, that there's just things that you don't want to say, so you say them through your music because I don't know what other way, I was talking to a couple of my homegirls about it too. Recently, I feel like there's been a movement, like a shift towards a lot of apoyo for mujeres in the punk scene, and I think that that's cool. Like I really appreciate it. I feel like kind of when this story started, well, maybe even before then, like Bruce Violet and Tuberculosis, all these dope ass bands. I feel like lately all the bands have at least one girl in it, and I like that a lot. That's why I think the whole Ponkeras group is like super tight, because I think that we're all kind of forming our little community, getting to know, network within each other, and just making shit happen for ourselves. Like I feel like it brought out of myself a lot that I thought I couldn't demonstrate anywhere else. I thought that it gave me a lot of courage to express the way I feel, whether it be through music, whether it be through art, whether it just be through expressing myself at shows and just singing along, fist bumping, doing whatever it may be. I really do love punk.
Well, Chicas Rockeras is a rock and roll camp for girls in Southeast LA for 8 to 17-year-olds.
And we're both like, if we ever this in our neighborhood, it has to be a name in Spanish. Yeah. And it has to be something that parents would be like, oh, rock camp, like, ¿qué es eso? We just knew it wasn't going to be appealing, so we were like, it has to be in Spanish. It has to be something rockera oriented, because in the Spanish community, it's not, you can say ponquera, but it's a lot of the times you're called a rockera no matter what genre you actually listen to. So regardless if you listen to metal or you listen to punk, your parents will still refer to you a lot of the times as a rockera. So, but Jesus Saldamaldo actually has this amazing art piece of Alice Bag. Yeah, of this one right here. I loved how it said para las rockeras, and so I was just sitting here one day and I was just like, para las rockeras. Well, which rockeras? Oh, young girls, chicas rockeras. Everyone knows where East LA is, everybody knows where South Central is, but no one actually knows where Southeast LA is. And even when I tell folks, oh, I'm from Southeast LA, they go, oh, East LA. I'm like, no, Southeast LA. It's actually a completely different community. So that's the main reasons why we're like Chicas Loqueras Southeast LA, because we have to put it on the map. I'm tired of telling folks it's between South Central and East LA. It'd be nice that people just knew where it was at, because there's a lot of crimes in that community, a lot of environmental injustice, and a lot of the times those things happen though because no one knows where it's at to begin with. I feel, especially as a queer person, I wasn't, one, as a woman, usually not encouraged to be loud. You're not encouraged to be aggressive, and recognizing that I was masculine of center even then, right? So it's like, oh, I might come off a little aggressive, or I just look a little intimidating, but it's just like, that's just my body. Like, I'm queer, I'm a tomboy, I don't dress femme, that's not what I identify with. And I felt like when I got into the punk scene, I was just like, oh, it's okay here, it's accepted, and it's welcoming in a lot of ways. I think there's still a lot of sexism there, of course, but as far as like my layers of identity, I was just like, oh, it's okay for me to punch someone here. It's okay to run around and slam my body into somebody, which felt good, and it was very freeing. And that's how I got into punk, and that's why I stayed in punk for so long. And so I've been wanting to do that in Southeast LA, and I was just like, I need to find people who are like down, committed, and gonna carry the workload. And Myra came through, and then Vicky came through, and then also like Tina came through, and Jessica. And it's cool though. What's been really interesting is that, I mean, Myra and I used to play in a band together. Vicky plays in the band with Binky, and so they come through. But like, I've known Tina for years, also through the punk scene, right? Our bands used to play together.
Angustia.
Yeah, Angustia, and this is the first time where we've like, let's organize something together. So it's been really awesome to also get to know these folks as
in a different
in a different capacity
Mm-hmm.
of than just going to punk shows. It's
Yeah. I felt like it just worked out so amazing. Like the timing was perfect, the people were perfect. Like it's fucking happening.
Yeah.